Hi guys, it's Andrew Kisst with Kisst Diagnostics. We're just out here in the field today. We're going to work on a little Caterpillar. Right here is a DAT cat with a track bulldozer and deep ripper in the back. Wait a second, Aaron. This isn't the one we're supposed to be looking at. Doesn't really matter because with TEXA, you're covered. There it is. That's the one on the paperwork. The Cat 990H full-size wheel loader. This thing's a beast. And no matter what you're working on, TEXA has you covered with their off-highway IDC5 software and their new Sony voice tablet. So this is what I use on the job. No matter whether I'm working on a DAT, a 990H, or any of the excavators and water trucks out here on the job.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, Aaron? We've got a Rebel Master with a Cummins engine in it. It's got low fuel leakage problem, so we're here to check it out. We got the TEXA Sony voice here with the TXD multi-hub from the Navigator line. And we're going to see what this computer has to say. We're going to get in here and check it out. One thing that's really nice about TEXA with their IDC5 software is that you're able to work on industrial engines no matter what brand they're in. So like for example, right here, we've got Cummins and we're able to just log right in. Go ahead, Ken.
So Andrew, on this Rebel Master, what's the first step when you're hooking up the TEXA unit?
Oh, well, you definitely want to acknowledge kind of where the heart of your system is. You know, you want to find your battery, you want to find your power distribution centers, whether that's your fuse systems or power distribution modules. And you also want to go ahead and check everything else out from the heart of the system at the batteries up to where the diagnostic port is. And then once you find the diagnostic port, that's when you can actually start working. I guess it's still losing pressure. There we go. Live data. Now basically what we want to do is we want to go down to the rail pressure. We want to see what the ECM is asking for and what the actual is. And that's one of the first things you do when you have a fuel leakage code. You kind of want to see just where you're sitting. So right here, got it bouncing back about 15 PSI. The ECM's commanding about 5,000 for just key on cranking. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it and see what we get up to. Nice thing about TEXA, it's going to record your maximum and your minimum values. So during cranking right there, we only got up to about 435 PSI, and it was asking for right around 4,000 to 5,000. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead. We already changed the check valve on the back of the head that was rusted and leaking. I have a belief that it's one of the injectors losing solenoids that failed, and that's what's leaking down the galley in return. But we're going to go ahead and check the pressure relief valve and the high pressure rail, as well as the high pressure pump, by capping off the high pressure rail here. And then we'll go down and check individual injectors. So we don't have to disconnect anything. We just wanted to loosen and move it out of the way. And we still have this bracket here, but this bracket isn't going to be too big of a problem. Okay, this right here, Aaron, this is the fuel rail. I don't know if you can see it. You've got your high pressure fuel rail, you've got your supply down here, supply line coming in from the high pressure side. Your fuel rail runs right along here. You have your injector lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming out of your high pressure rail and going into it. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to undo these 4 injector lines, and we have caps from Cummins, OEM parts that we're going to do to perform a check on the high pressure rail itself, the high pressure fuel pump, and the high pressure relief valve on the rail. A lot of cool equipment out here.
Now, Andrew, this appears to be a newer unit. Is this a common issue that's been happening, or what are your thoughts?
One of the bigger issues we see is just the overall fuel quality. Here in California, they do a lot of things. It's not just regular diesel number 2. So biofuels don't act too kindly to these injection systems. Sometimes we'll get moisture inside of them. On a job site like this, you know, somebody just simply leaving the fuel cap off could have started all these issues. We've had a few downpours lately, so really could have wreaked havoc on the injection system. So we really need to isolate the problem instead of just switching parts, and that's what we're trying to do here. So one thing right here, guys, once you get the ECM off, I don't know why they put that, but right here there's a warning to not use ether. It says do not use ether. Engine is equipped with electric heater starting aid. Use of ether may cause explosion and severe injury. I know a long time ago, guys, we used to use starting fluid or ether. I know a lot of trucks used to have it equipped by their OEMs. But now with today's systems, you never know if they have a great heater or if it's just going to cause serious ailments to your injection system. Guys, try to stay away from ether. Prime it the right way. Get OEM priming tools or do something like we're doing by testing the pressure in the rail. All right. Okay, guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm going and loosening up these injector lines on the high pressure rail. Just be careful when you're in here. You don't have to get super crazy with it, but you are opening up a fuel system. You want to make sure that you don't have anything running, that you already relieve the pressure from the fuel system if it doesn't already have a low fuel pressure leak like this one does, or fuel pressure bleed off like this one does. But you just want to be careful, guys. So I've already got 2 off. This is pretty simple, quick, and easy. All right, once we get all this back together with the rail cap like that, one of the things we're checking is the rail pressure relief valve down here on the end of the rail. And it's the high pressure rail relief valve. So I anticipate that going ahead and popping out some diesel. As far as checking if that component's good, like during cranking, now that we have the rail capped off, as far as that goes, I just more am concerned with the pressure that it releases at. So when checking these components right now during this next crank test, I'm going to be checking the high pressure fuel pump and the high pressure relief valve on the rail here. So I do anticipate it to open up. I do anticipate it to squirt a little bit of diesel. But we do have our catch pan down below, and that'll get that. But the main thing is checking when it's releasing, making sure it's not doing it prematurely. All right, guys, so we've got our Cummins parts here to go ahead and check the high pressure pump and the rail pressure, make sure everything's functioning along with the rail pressure relief valve. What I'm doing is I'm taking off the injector lines off the rail, Cummins part number here for the specific engine number, and I'm just going to put all 4 of them on hand tight. It's all just rinse and repeat here. Loosen both sides of the injector line. I'll move my hand so you can see in here, and I'm just twisting them on hand tight, and then I'll go back through and tighten them. We'll go ahead and crank it, see what we see. So we'll go ahead and get our TEXA hooked back up. Go ahead and turn the kill switch back on. You'll know that you're communicating once your LCD screen or LED screen on the front lights up. You probably turn the key on, should be good. So you always want to have your multi-hub fired up before you fire up the software. Going to tell us and ask us which connector we're using. We're currently using the 9-pin. This is American truck cable, guys. They say I never leave home without it, but seriously, I don't. I use it on almost every job. Okay, we're scanned back in. We're going to go down to our rail pressure and rail pressure commanded, actual and commanded. So we've got both of those pulled up right now. We're going to go ahead and hand prime. So Aaron, if you want to take a look at that pressure, it should, in theory, increase. It's not for some reason. All right. Go ahead and crank it. There we go. Now. All right. So there we were able to get it up to 25, 23. Thank you guys for joining along and taking a watch with us. This is Kisst Diagnostics, your TEXA direct dealer.